Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. First, I want to apologize for this for this review or recap coming out so late. So I was actually home around 3 o'clock. Well, I was actually home well around 3 o'clock, yeah. So and I had my DVR already. So 3 o'clock comes and it's like 3:01 and the guy's talking, the news guy's talking, and then it starts. I'm like, okay, that's kind of annoying, but whatever. The episode starts a little bit, and then they cut it back off because of you know what. So I was like, you know what, F it, I'm just gonna watch it at 8 o'clock. I'm not gonna lie, at that point I kind of forgot, started watching something else, and here we are. So, again, apologies for coming out so late. Tomorrow should actually be on time because I'm actually gonna be home. I'm gonna actually be working from home. So, okay, so let's get into this episode. So, somebody tell me, when did this whole self-righteous Lulu version started? Because I'm kind of clueless. I go way back to when Luke is there, and Lulu used to sit there and want to spend time with Luke, even if she was ice fishing. Where the fuck did this new version come in from? And today was like peak. It was almost as though the director told the actress, "Hey, you know how you've been acting very self-righteous lately? Why don't you dial that up to 11?" The reason why I say that, the reason why I say that is because, she's continuing to have a conversation with her mother, and she's talking about custody and stuff like that. And Laura's like, "Listen, at the end of the day, a parent needs both her mother and her father, and especially two people that love her in her life is a good thing. And Lulu's like, since when did you start advocating for Valentine? And I think at that point, Laura just had enough. She was like, no, I'm advocating for Charlotte, and we're trying to do what's best for her. And of course, she gets into her whole, oh, well, Valentine is bad, blah, 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 blah. Valentine does this, Valentine does that. Just, recounting all the old shit that everyone knows already. And then she gets into a point where she's like, oh, well, I wish I had, because they were talking, and Lulu was like, since when would you snow? Like, since when did you allow, Valentine to lie to you? And Laura was like, listen, I have much more credit than that. I can spot a liar. And she says something along those lines of I'm vicious or whatever. And Lulu was like, oh, well, where's that version of you? Because this version I don't really like so much or whatever. Apparently, whenever you tell Lulu the truth, or, you tell Lulu the truth, she doesn't want to hear it. That's pretty much her attitude. They go back and forth, and I'm not gonna lie, it's really irritating. Um, and so they have a conversation, and that just goes on for a while. And then on the other side of the room, you have Charlotte talking to Valentine. Charlotte's like, "Listen, I saw what you did. I saw you push Ava off the roof, but it's fine because she didn't die, so it's cool." And I think that's when it hit. That's when it hit. Why is this voice so loud? That's when it hit Valentine of, oh shit. It's one thing when I do something bad because it just affects me. But now I'm teaching that to my daughter, and I think that was his breaking point. You saw there was like a crack, in his facial expression, and so he was like, listen, you just kissed the daughter, or whatever, on the forehead, and was like, all right, listen. He walked over to Laura's like, Laura, we need to talk, and Valentine pretty much like, listen, I've been fucking up a lot more than I thought I have, and you're a good person, and my daughter's gonna need you in her life. And yeah, if Lulu decides to fight for custody, I'm not gonna fight her. And he was just sitting there saying, listen, I've been a bad parent. And Laura was just shocked. She was like, okay, you've never actually questioned your parenting skills before. What the hell is going on? And she knew it was bad. She knew it was bad when Valentine started to doubt him just being a good parent, him being a good role model and stuff. So yeah. An epiphany for Valentine. Again, he was just like, shit, you know, because you can sit there and love him, hate him, or whatever. Yeah, just falls just like everyone else. But the one thing that he just cannot get past is doing something that's going to affect his daughter. That's the one thing that would break him. As a parent, it would break him, and I think as any parent, they would understand. So let's do a little rewind. Cyrus meets Julian, and they banter for a little bit. Oh, Cyrus is like, I heard you used to be in the game and stuff like that, and this, that, and the third, and they banter for a little bit, just small talk. But then it was like, Cyrus like, listen, I need somebody that knows their way around Port Charles, and you seem like a great candidate. Julian's like, I'm busy with the bar. Why don't you ask Sonny? And then he gets a call from Jason, because Sonny gets a call from Turning Woods, basically sitting there talking about his dad. Caesars fell. So he's like, you know what, listen, I'm not doing a meeting. That shit is off. I gotta sit there and be there for my dad. And so, Carly's like, listen, you need to go to that meeting. It's important, and Sonny can't think straight. So he needs somebody to think straight for him. And Jason's like, listen, I can't do that because I'm not going to go against what Sonny wants. If that's his decision, then I need to stick by it. If he knows what's best, and I'm just going to do what Sonny tells me to, I'm not going to undermine him. So they argue for a little bit. So they argue for a little bit. I lost my fucking train of thought. So they argue for a little bit. Okay, this is where I was going. So they argue for a little bit, and then Carly goes to get Donna, I think, and Carly tries to convince Jason, hey, look at the baby, go to the meeting, do what I say. Then they go back and forth, pretty much just giving each other compliments about Carly being loyal, and even though she doesn't plans blow up in the face, she always tries to do his best for the people that she loves. And Carly's like, Jason would always protect you and be a good listener. And Jason was actually talking a lot to Donna, and Carly was like, listen, you don't really talk too often at all, so you have a very profound effect on Jason, your Uncle Jason. And so in the end, they just agree to disagree. I think at this point, because, I lost my train of thought for a second. Julian is, entertaining Cyrus and stuff like that, and I feel like he's playing coy, He clearly knows that Cyrus wants Julian back in the game, and Julian's like, I don't want to get put back into that life. Just, giving them drinks and stuff like that. And it's funny, too, because when they walked in the bar, they did the whole, like, I don't know you sort of thing or whatever. And Cyrus was like, listen, I'm just, here to meet some associates and stuff like that. And, right when he walked into the door, Julian knew exactly who he was. So, Chase. What the fuck? I just, he got to a point, this is past the scene of where they're making out and stuff like that, and, Sasha does this fake running away into the, to the room or whatever, and, Willow's like, what the hell is going on? And that's when Chase is like, your life has always been, your life lately has been about Wiley, Wiley this, Wiley that. You just kind of left me at the sidelines, and you ignored me pretty much. And, this was supposed to be a decision, he was meant to say when they thought that, she got pregnant, this was going to be a decision that they were going to make together in case they wanted to try to actually have a baby. But with Wiley, he didn't even have a say in it. And it was just, he basically tried to make it seem like, it was just her and Michael, shutting out Chase and Sasha. So it's like, well, we didn't have anything else to do, we were lonely, and we felt shut out. And then Willow is like, well, why didn't you just talk to me? Why didn't you tell me that, how long has this been going on for? And Chase was like, oh, it doesn't really matter because you found out, or some dumb shit like that. And Willow, for some odd fucking reason, and I mean, I don't know how anyone else feels about cheating, but Willow's just like, so, if you would have told me that you and Sasha was doing something, we could have talked about this and I could have just chalked it up to an accident. We could have just moved forward. And I was like, I'm sorry, what did you just say? Did, did you just say that if you found out earlier that Chase was cheating with Sasha, that you just would have just said you were upset, but you just would have let that shit go? Here's the thing, and I can't speak for anyone else, but once you cheat on somebody, that is it. There is just no getting around that. That is for me personally, that's just a permanent mark of a reminder of what they did to you. And they could sit there and tell you that they'll never do it again. But you know what? It only took that one time. Okay, yeah. But that was the whole thing. Chase just, as he was doing it, and every time that Willow turned away, it just broke him little by little, but he just kept going because he felt like this was the right thing to do, hurt her to the point where she would go to Michael and marry him. He feels like, listen, if I was the only thing that was stopping Willow for saving Wiley from Janelle, I'll sacrifice myself. I'll throw myself in the sword. And the same thing with Sasha. And then, and then after Willow walks off and Sasha walks back in the room, because, Chase throws the wine glass at the wall, because whatever. I don't know, most men just would have punched a wall like a fucking real man, but whatever. Sasha looks at Chase and Sasha's like, what did we just do? And I just was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You really didn't just say that. So then Sasha and Chase are sitting in the living room, and Chase is like, he brings out a bottle of wine. He's like, me and Willow, we used to, pour wine from different wines and stuff like that, and just kind of explore together. So let's have a toast. Sasha was like, what the fuck? What are we toasting to? And Chase was like, well, that I hope this is all worth it. And I gotta sit there and say, this is typical soap opera logic, this is something to spice it up and, in a way, change the dynamic, change the relationship status quo, make people shift around and stuff. This is what they do. And let's be very clear on something. Before Chase actually asked her out and stuff like that, I felt like there was a bit of a love triangle between Michael, Willow, and Chase. I felt like it was, especially during career day. If you remember career day, Chase brung in his dog, and Michael brung in some plans for children to be all wild over and stuff like that. So they were competing. So yeah. 1 second. Okay. Two more things happened. One of them didn't really add up to anything, and that was the Michael and Jocelyn scenes, where they just talk about strategy. Michael is worried about his custody hearing, and Jocelyn is just trying to cheer him up and support him and stuff like that by saying, listen, me and mom are the same, but you're different. You're a strategist. You find weaknesses and exploit them. You got this. Just be honest, be yourself, and you're good. Just pretty much just giving them a pep talk for 30 minutes. So yeah, it didn't really add up to anything. But the stuff that did really also kind of affect some stuff, or that it just kind of heartbreaking, was Mike, Sonny, and Brooklyn. Brooklyn was there to go get Mike some food, And Sonny was like, listen, this is pretty much just not a good time. Mike just fell. He had a seizure. So they are standing there at the door. And this is the part that kind of broke me a little bit. It didn't break me, but it was a little sad. So, Sonny is talking to the doctor. And, Brooklyn's there. I think Brooklyn was probably about to leave a little bit after Sonny was like, he's sick or whatever, and I'm just gonna talk to him for a little bit. Doctor was there, and Sonny was like, listen, he hasn't had a seizure before. What's going on? And the doctor pretty much kind of explains how autism works a little bit. And Sonny's like, listen, let's just do a CT scan or whatever. Let's just do a brain scan or whatever. Figure out what's going on with him. And the doctor's like, listen, that may just not be a good idea. Mike may get confused. He may get scared of the machines and stuff like that, get disoriented. I don't know if that's a good idea. And Sonny just kind of just takes a lot of what the doctor says, as, here's how I look at it. The doctor's saying something that sounds like there's just no hope. And Sonny's like, we should try this, we should try that. And the doctor's like, well, I don't really know. And it just makes Sonny upset. And just to get a little real, if anyone has had any loved ones in a hospital and you get news from a doctor or somebody else that's telling you the facts or whatever and trying to break it down, you're just not going to want to hear it. You're not going to want to hear it. You're going to not look at them like the enemy, but look at their words like they're the enemy, as though like they're not they're saying anything hopeful or something that they can give you inspiration. And I think that's the part that made me a little sad, if we're going to be honest. Kind of a This Is Us moment. So that part was a little sad. Okay, hold on. Let me get something to drink. So yeah, and then, Brooklyn was like, listen, that's not what he means. I don't think he's kind of saying it like that, just to kind of be like a buffer, a cushion, because, Brooklyn can kind of see things a little bit different because she's not, that's not Mike's dad, it's not Brooklyn's dad, so she just kind of being there for Sonny, just like, listen, that's not how it is. So they go into the room, Sonny goes into the room, Brooklyn is just kind of like, standing at the hallway or whatever. And, Sonny talks for a little bit, and, Sonny gets him out of bed, helps him get out of bed. Brooklyn's there to help him. I don't understand why they actually stood him out for whatever odd reason. It made no sense. I know Sonny was talking about putting him in a wheelchair or whatever, just to kind of stretch his legs and different scenery. Brooklyn was talking to Mike. Again, that was a little kind of heartbreaking because, Brooklyn was not there just saying, we're going to close out the show on the nurses ball and stuff like that. And it was really heartbreaking because you can see as when Brooklyn is talking to, I just ran a little bit over about 20 minutes. You can see that Brooklyn is talking to Mike and trying to be strong and just saying, listen, we're gonna, do it up for the nurses ball and stuff like that, and just trying not to fucking cry. And that was a little sad. And then something that, so Sonny isn't there talking to Mike, and Sonny's like, Sonny's talking to Mike for a little bit. Brooklyn is, I guess she feels like she's about to start bawling. So she starts to walk out the room, and Sonny is probably about to join her and just kind of just leave or whatever, say bye to Mike or whatever. Mike grabs Sonny's hand, and Mike is like, "Is it over?" He said, "Is it over?" And that that was really difficult to listen to. Again, any person that has dealt with a loved one in a similar situation or any situation like that, when in a hospital or whatever, saying anything along those lines is just it breaks you, it shatters you. There's just no other way to explain it. So Sonny was like, I felt like his world just fell apart, and Brooklyn was out there, and she heard it, and she was like, I mean, it was like a knife to her stomach. I mean, it was just that gut wrenching. I'm not gonna do this on camera. But the point was, he talked to Mike, and he knew what Mike was saying, but he was like, "Listen, the movie's not over. We're gonna get you a projection screen, and we're gonna, just do it up, and just gonna be me and you and popcorn and stuff like that. Don't worry about it." And he leaves. Well, he walks outside, to Brooklyn, and Brooklyn's like, "So, is he talking about what you think he's talking about?" And Sonny's like, "No, he's just confused, and he's tired and stuff like that, because he didn't want to break Brooklyn's heart." And so Brooklyn leaves, and I think that's pretty much where it ends. That was probably the best part, and probably the saddest part of General Hospital. I feel like they're taking notes from This Is Us. And if you haven't watched This Is Us, watch This Is Us on Hulu. It's worth it. But my point is, yeah, that was just a heartbreaking scene, and yeah, that's pretty much gonna kind of do it for this episode. Again, I'm sorry that it came out so late. Hopefully, when you're watching this, it's probably like daytime or whatever. But yeah, the news. GH at 3 o'clock has just been kind of a mixed bag. Because today, again, I tried to watch it, and then I was like, you know what, F it, I'm gonna watch it at 8 o'clock, and then I started watching Family Guy around 4 to like, I don't know, 7:45. Then The Flash came on, and I was like, ooh, The Flash, and I totally forgot about GH, because in my head, I thought I already watched it and did a review on it. So here we are. So that's gonna do it for this recap of GH, and thank you for watching. Like always, be safe, and I will catch you in the next review or recap.